Hi, my name is Merce, I'm a classical guitar player, and today I want to bring you a different kind of video. Today I want to play together a basic left hand technique routine. So the point of this video is just this, that you can use it as the daily routine to warm up and to improve your left hand technique. Now, if you have not seen my previous video on left hand finger control, I really recommend you to go now, stop this video and go watch it, because in that video I speak quite extensively about some important concepts that you really need to know about left hand technique. On the other hand, if you are already familiar with the basic concepts of left hand relaxation, tension and movement control, then you're ready to go and do this workout together. As you see in the title, this is a left hand routine, so we are going to leave out the right hand. Do any combination of index middle that is the easiest for you, so that you can focus entirely on the left hand. We will have 4 different exercises. The first one is going to be individual fingers, the second one and the third one is going to be binary combinations, and the fourth one is going to be a combination of second and third. Now, all the exercises are going to be compressed between the 5th fret and the 7th fret, and we will be going all the time from the 6th string to the 1st and back to the 6th, and this pattern is going to be repeated in fret 5th, 6th and 7th. For sake of shortness of the video, I will not be coming back from fret 7 to 6 to 5, but I really welcome you to do it at home if you like, and even more if you would like to do the entire fretboard with the same principles. Please go ahead, that's gonna be a great thing you can do. So the first exercise, we will start with individual fingers. We start obviously with the first finger, and we will be moving one string at a time. So we will be setting the metronome at 60, the quarter note, because the point of it is not to go fast, but to gain control in the left hand. So no more rambling around and let's go into it. Given that we are starting with the first finger, and this is the easiest finger for us to control, I want you to use this sequence to control the movement of your hand and of your finger. Now, same story for second finger. Remember, we are moving from the position 5th to the 7th, so in this case for the second finger is going to be starting at the fret 6 until the 8th. Keep always the positioning the same. I want you to make sure that the finger doesn't jump off much too high, just enough what's necessary to go from one string to the next. Try to always get the string on the same part of your fingertip. You want to use these simple exercises to build up good and strong and reliable muscle memory. And we go for the third finger. Once you start to control to get the string on the same spot of your fingertip, now try to pay a little bit of attention of your hand position. To develop a good technique, it's very important to support the action of the fingers with the hand and the arm, and all this action comes from the shoulder. So you want to have your back up straight, the arm falling down so the elbow is pointing more or less to the floor, and avoid any tension of lifting the elbow upwards, because that will change the inclination of the hand. As you go, check if the palm of your hand is too close to the fretboard or too far away, creating a wristband. Either way is good. Try to achieve a position where the wrist is straight and your fingers do not need to contract or extend to reach the string. And now we're going to start the binary ascending combinations. We will be playing the same string with first finger and then the second. Now, the key to move effortlessly around the neck is to use the movement of the arm to help rotate your hand. So as you can see, as I'm moving from the first string to the 6th, my elbow goes a little bit forwards so that the hand moves up without us having to do any finger extension or contraction. If you're following the indications, you will gradually develop a much better and controlled movement of the left hand. In that case, you're ready to put your attention in a very important element of this exercise. Now I need your attention to be shifting to the fingers that are currently inactive. I need you to bring all these other fingers that are not playing down and close to the strings and keep them there. Try to keep them as close as you can from the string that you are currently playing. You might also see some inactive fingers moving as you play without you wanting it to. That is also something we have to take care of. If it's necessary, just slow down the video or stop for a second and isolate this movement and try to repeat it several times until you manage to control that finger to stay still. Knowing all that, I guess it will be pretty obvious at this point that if you happen to have the pinky finger hiding below or even behind the fretboard, that is a no-no, so try to bring the fingers forward, always above the strings, nice and easy and relaxed. And the last one of the ascending group, 3 and 4. As you go through this double ascending combination, the first finger, the one that stays behind, stays put, so you're not lifting it up. Ideally, you want that the first finger relaxes the pressure when the second finger comes into play, but don't need to pull it off. By releasing the tension and keeping the finger on the string, we maximize the movement efficiency in this type of motion. As the reflex movement of the hand change very much, whether we play in ascending motion or descending, we will also do the descending sets. When we play descending sequences, many of us tend to open up our hand in a way that our pinky finger gets pushed away from the fretboard, and that will only increase our chances to make technical mistakes in the next passage. So when you're playing exercise, when all the fingers play in the same string like this workout, you want to keep your hand parallel to the neck at all times, no matter which combination you're using. As you have probably noticed with all the exercises we have played so far, I'm all the time placing the fingers right besides the fret piece. So not on the metal piece of the fret, but right besides. And this is because right there, it's where you need to apply the least pressure. If you would be playing in the middle of the fret or on the other side of the fret, you would need to press a lot more. And we are doing these technique exercises just to try to maximize the result with the least amount of effort. combination, the most important thing is that you don't over tense the first or the second finger. Usually it's the first finger who tries to compensate the pressure applied by the third and fourth finger. So if you don't manage to stop the first finger from being tensed as you play this exercise, stop for a second, apply pressure on the third finger and see if you can bring back the first finger to a relaxed position, and do the same for the fourth finger. Then eventually you can come back to the exercise, if necessary a bit slower. You can slow down the video here in YouTube and try the same, always keeping the finger without tensing up. The last combination is going to be twice as long because we will have ascending and descending together. Now these double sets are combining the actions that we practiced before. Now you have to take care that the first finger stays in place, and then when you lift up the second finger, don't lift it more than 1 inch or a couple of millimeters. Just lift it up enough so that the string has space to vibrate without causing any buzzing sound because of the contact with your finger. So as you can see, from an exercise that could look quite easy and quite simple, there are so many things that we can fix. As you're going through the exercise with a good arm movement, a good hand positioning, and a good finger movement control, I want you to start thinking how much pressure you're applying with the fingers that are playing. Very gradually try to see if you can get still the note without any buzz, with a little bit less pressure. We have not spoken yet about the right hand because I told you in the beginning of this video that you just have to keep it easy and simple for you. So the only thing I want to ask you to take care about it is to always have a good sound, the best that you can, and even throughout every repetition. I always found that these 2-3 combinations, they always get tricky with the reflex movement or with keeping other fingers in place. So as you can see, I'm trying to gradually correct and keep the pinky finger at the same level like the third finger and the first finger relaxed. The concentration practice in this workout is also quite important because as you lose a bit the focus, you see how your fingers shift position or maybe don't behave as you actually want them to, and then it's just a very good moment to recorrect and slowly start to build up good position habits. For those with fine ear will realize that I have been trying to play the whole exercise with the same type of legato no matter where. So when you're playing through the same position, it's rather easy. Of course, if you're playing with 2 fingers, it's pretty easy. But when we had the single combinations with one single finger jumping off from one string to the other, or in this case when we have to change fret, I try to connect this last note with the next one, jumping in the very last moment as fast as I can, of course without creating a very strong accent or anything similar. So you want to be able to jump and jump fast without affecting the musical outcome. So always try to keep the same dynamic level, which basically means play all the notes equally loud. And as I said before, trying to take care of the attack with the right hand has a lot to do with it. So it's a good practice to not let your right hand be affected by a sudden jump on the left hand. So we are by the last combination, we are almost there. Try to stay focused and try to see this pinky finger not going too far away from the string. Keep the other fingers nice and round and never forget the motion of the arm, bringing the hand from one place to the other. So you basically want to feel like your fingers are doing the same motion all the time repeatedly, and it's your arm that decides in which string you're playing. So really focus to get this little movement of up and down, small and easy for your fingers. Being the pinky finger the smallest and the weakest, always take care that you support it with the hand. Don't bring the hand far away so the pinky finger has to stretch, because then it's going to collapse. Always try to keep the curve, and that will give you the strength to play well, because that will be very, very important to have when you practice some slurs or anything that requires a bit more power. So you have finished your left hand routine and you can feel happy and accomplished because it's one little step at a time. I really hope this video is going to be very helpful for you to use and practice along with it, because back in the day when I was studying, I actually would have found very useful to have this, as it is like having your teacher all the time there. And let's face it, sometimes when we are practicing these technique exercises, sometimes we get distracted or we don't pay enough attention, and I really hope that having this video will cover and supply a little bit this input of attention to the detail, so that these exercises, when you do them, they really start to matter and make a big difference in your playing. So I hope you enjoyed this type of video. If so, leave a like and actually comment down below if you like this type of format. If you enjoyed it, please let me know, because I try to bring here in the channel the content that you actually find useful and that helps your journey. And I hope now that you have the guitar on the hands, you will continue practice some repertoire. And with this, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.